And we are live. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Sifu Adalik, Master Instructor at Niagara Kung Fu Academy. And if you're watching this, thank you very much for joining me. I want to talk to, yeah, I know, I got a notification that Niagara Kung Fu is live. Of course I'm live, I know that. I'm doing that right now. I want to talk to you today about keeping score, because there's this weird fad going around about not keeping score because there's a danger there of hurting someone's, feelings, and that can happen, right? When in different sports, when you have a winner, you have a loser, and that can be hurtful. And I understand the well-intentioned concept with regard to competitive sports. However, because I don't teach competitive sports, I'm not really going to comment on it in that regard in this live video, but instead I'm going to comment on how keeping score pertains to life, because this idea of not keeping score, if it's taken out of the right context, can be very counterproductive to life in general, in our progress in general, right? Before I get into that, I did want to mention that if you are interested in building up discipline, self-discipline, and confidence in your kids, you might want to check out our martial arts development program for families. We're offering a free 2-week trial right now, which you can get by clicking in the comments section below. I'm going to put it there in just a minute. Hold on one second, I'll get it to you right now. In the meantime, I'll also stall because people are probably just seeing this and opting on. And if you're watching this, you have any questions, please make sure to put them in the comment section, and I'll get to them during this live video at some point. But let me put in the, okay, one second. I'm putting in the thing here. Anyway, I was talking about the danger of not keeping score, right? And if we apply not keeping score to everything, it can be detrimental to a child's development of discipline later on. Okay, there I got that in the comment section. Now, I teach Kung Fu, which, although is a combative art, actually has more to do with self-cultivation and self-development than it does with fighting, than it does with combat. Kung Fu literally means the skill that we acquire after time and sacrifice, which means that if we're following a Kung Fu path, we're also improving in all areas of life. Now, we can't improve without proper measurement of our progress. This is still competitive. In Kung Fu, we're still competitive, but it's self-competitive. We teach our students that you don't have to compete with others, but you do have to compete with yourself. In order to progress, you have to be a little bit better today than you were yesterday, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be much. It can be as little as 1%, but if it's persistent and it's continual, that's what's important. There's no way to know that, though, unless we measure. So that's why measure, or keeping score, is important. And there's a lot of ways to do that, and they can actually help immensely with your child's confidence. If you're keeping score in the right way, it can immensely help with your child's confidence. If you'd like to see how we do that in our family martial arts program, click the link in the comment section. You can get a free 2-week trial for you and your family. And actually, if you click and you register in the next 48 hours, there's only about 12 spots or so left on the floor right now for that. If you register in the next day or two, we'll give you free uniforms for your whole family as well. So anyway, back to keeping score, right? One of my mentors, Grandmaster Jeff Smith, he always says that what gets measured gets done, and you can apply that to everything. Your health, your business, even your relationships. For example, if you're putting in effort into spending time with your family and you put in, say, more quality time this week than you did last week, well, then it's likely you're now a better family member, right? Because really, how can you, that's the ultimate thing, is family just needs time, right? Kids need you to put time in. But without keeping score, you don't know if you're actually getting better or not. All you have is your subjective feelings on something, which might make us feel better temporarily, but it won't really help us improve at something long term. Keeping score can mean a lot of different things, right? It can mean, for fitness, it can mean how many push-ups we're able to do this week, or today, how many pounds we lost last month, how many days or hours you went without being stuck to a tablet or a screen or something, how far you can run, how many calories you ate, how many people you went out of your way to help today. That's all different ways of keeping score. It doesn't have to mean the same thing for everyone, but it's important that you keep score for yourself, right? Keeping score is very important. It's a very important part for building up discipline and self-discipline in kids. In our leadership program, hey, Mr. Manning, thanks for watching. Hey, Jason, thanks for joining me. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section. Even just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Okay, so in our leadership development program, we teach that good discipline good self-discipline first comes from good discipline, right? Discipline comes from an outside source, from a teacher or, from a parent. They're your first source of measurement. If you do something well, then they tell you. And if you make a mistake, well, they tell you. In becoming self-disciplined, you're not relying on an outside source anymore. And we teach that in our martial arts program, that mom and dad won't always be there to make your decisions for you. That's why you have to have good discipline and self-discipline, so you can avoid peer pressure, all on your own. When there's a group of people doing something that's not right for you, you have the self-discipline to say, no, that's okay, and not follow the crowd. We want our kids to have that level of independence, right? And that comes from good discipline and self-discipline. And so this is where keeping score comes in handy. You need to have objective feedback to know whether you're making good decisions or poor decisions. Keeping score will give you this objective feedback and get you used to objective feedback. But if we're bringing our kids up to not keep score on anything, they'll just go with whatever they feel in the moment. They're not learning how to adjust course, how to adjust our behavior, and adjust our habits. That's all very important. And by the way, if you are interested in developing better discipline for your children, you might want to check out our family martial arts program. There's a free trial right now. It gives you 2 weeks and free uniforms in the next 24 hours. Sorry, I said 48 hours, by clicking the link in the comment section there. Now, this is not just for kids. This pertains to adults too, right? Self-employed people often come in, run into the same problem. Some of our best students are self-employed individuals, professionals, because they enjoy the self-discipline they gain from our development program. And they find it translates very well into managing themselves and their businesses successfully. Right? The hardest part about being self-employed is that you don't have a boss giving you immediate feedback. And now most employed people say, oh, that'd be awesome, I hate my boss. Well, there's a downside to that too. You require more self-discipline when you don't have a boss or manager helping you out. Keeping score is more important, like tracking your satisfied clients, tracking your sales, tracking your reviews. That all gives you help with objective feedback on, it tells you whether you're doing something well or not so well. Most entrepreneurs know that simply doing what you feel is your best isn't really good enough to keep your business going. Your bill collectors and your family don't really care so much if you felt good about your activity for that day. They care about the results you got, whether you're going to keep the lights on and keep food on the table or not. Now, knowing this, the best business owners that we meet are ones that keep score. They track their growth. They don't shy away from looking at their numbers or their statistics very carefully, so they know where to improve. In contrast, less successful businesses we see, or less successful entrepreneurs, they shy away from looking at their own numbers, and instead they look only for subjective feedback, like how they felt about the performance on that day. I know it's important that we feel good about our performance and whatever we're doing. That's true, but that's only half the picture, right? And if we want our kids to be successful in the future, we need to pay attention to how they feel, but also we need to teach them to value objective feedback. So they get used to getting that feedback on how they're doing and how they can improve. So balancing both is very important. But if we don't measure our progress, we probably won't have any. And if we do measure, if we look at that measurement, we'll realize on our own where we could do better. And then we'll get that nudge, the numbers, that objective feedback is our nudge that we need to improve on something. Now, if you're looking for help with that nudge in the right direction, feel free to try out our family martial arts program. And again, it's for adults as well. Mom and dad usually jump on the floor with their kids. It's a 2-week trial. And if you register in the next 48 hours, we'll give you some free uniforms to try out to get the full experience. Anyway, to wrap up, if you guys do any questions too, post them now so I can comment on them or get back to you about them before I log off, which I will do in a minute here. But to wrap up, I did want to say that, before we throw out the whole concept of keeping score, take a second look. There's value there that a lot of people overlook, I think, and we don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, right? So thanks for watching, guys. I know you are busy, and I know you only have so much time to scroll your news feed before you have to get back to work or studying or doing whatever you're doing. So I'm glad you stopped scrolling long enough to watch some of this. Click the link below if you'd like to learn more about these concepts in person, and if you'd like to have a free private lesson with one of our professional Black Sash instructors. All right, and that is all I have to say about that. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys soon.